Hi everyone, it's Agnes and we're doing another YouTube interview today and it's with Mark. Hello Mark.
Hey, how are ya?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So for everybody that doesn't know you, can you tell them where you are in the world?
Yes, my name is Mark. I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm in a suburb of Philadelphia, but on the New Jersey side of things.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm a hotel manager
Yep.
and I love life.
Unreal. Good start. Well, you and I had a chat a while back and you had mentioned to me where you'd had some really good stuff happening in parts of your life. And then we said,
Yes.
hey, let's do an interview about that. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you want to start with the work one?
Absolutely. It started with frustration because I got a really good education. I got my master's in Texas. And at first, I felt like it was really hard to find work, or anything I would find wasn't really motivating, or I felt like I wasn't getting paid for my worth with my education and my experience. And I was just very frustrated, very frustrated. I felt like things weren't going anywhere. I kept, kind of like changing my mind about what I wanted to do. I wouldn't stick to a path. I just kept being in that state of, I'm not happy. I'm not getting paid enough. I have so many bills. I'll never get caught up, etc. Right? And then I realized that all these things were kind of killing me internally, right? I realized that I was projecting a lot of negative energy and I was projecting a lot of negative vibes about my career.
Yeah.
Because I was in that state of, I'm not getting paid for my worth. No one respects me. No one listens to me. No one cares about my ideas. No one sees my worth, etc.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I realized that it was all about me. I wanted to be in a state of mind where I'm happy with what I'm getting. Things are coming along. I will get somewhere. And then things started to shift a little bit.
So, Mark, did you just realize that on your own, or did you get on YouTube and start looking around?
Well, I did find your channel.
Okay, but the fact that you were thinking something's not right with me, I think is such an important, because people can do that for decades, just keep complaining about
Definitely. That. Yeah. And I mean, like I was part of a religion.
Yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't really helping. I felt like it was kind of holding me back from my full potential. And then I decided to look for the truth somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I just started Googling things, trying to find, some talks on YouTube, maybe some motivational speakers I could relate to. I'm a people person, so I learn a lot from talking and being talked to, and that's kind of how I am. Like, I'm a very social person.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've always thought I was a bit of a psychic.
Yeah.
And that's always been on my mind, right? Like growing up, because I felt like a lot of things I wanted, or a lot of things that I was hoping would happen, happened in my life.
Yeah.
So, I started asking myself, why, what's going on? Am I a psychic? Am I a medium? Like, am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Or is it just like a deja vu? I don't know, right? Yeah. And then that's when I found out about manifesting.
Ah. Really? That's how it fell into place?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I realized I had been manifesting things, good and bad, for a few years.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I had a big heartbreak 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking about it because it's healed. It's good. I'm actually best friends with this person.
Yeah.
We're really good friends. We just talked last night.
Yeah.
I have a relationship with his partner too,
Yeah.
and their kid. Like, I'm super involved in their life. Everything's good. But when I liked that person, when I first met them, I was very jealous. I was very, very jealous of
Yeah.
the attention he would give to women,
Yeah.
right? And I was so jealous about it that I had all these mean and horrible thoughts, like, he's going to find a girl and marry her. I'm so scared he's going to find a girl and marry her. We live in different cities. I'm not going to have time to show him that he should be with me. He's going to find a girl that lives close to him and marry her.
Yeah.
And I believed these thoughts so much that it happened.
Yeah.
And it happened within a month.
Wow.
Yeah. He met someone, married her, and now they have a baby. And now I love them. I mean, like, I'm in a different place, right? But at first, it was something that I was so firm about that I was projecting so much that it happened.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, recently when I became acquainted with this whole thing, I realized that I made this happen because I was so scared that it would happen that it did.
Yeah.
So that was my realization that if I project negative things, they're going to happen. Therefore, if I project positive things, they're going to happen as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So going back a year ago, I was in a job that I didn't like. I didn't get along with my supervisor. I love my manager, but didn't get along with my supervisor. I felt very belittled by him. I felt like it was kind of a dead-end job. Wasn't really happy with how things were going. But I knew that within my organization, I could move up and get to where I wanted to be.
Okay.
And the place I wanted to be was here in this position. And it happened.
Okay, so what did you do?
Well, I changed my mindset because I was in that victim mode still.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. Oh my gosh, they're keeping me in this job. I have so much more potential, but no one believes in me. I'm not made for much. Like,
I'm not appreciated.
I'm not appreciated. No one sees what I'm capable of. No one believes in me. I don't have the right connections, etc. And then I decided to change my focus, and I decided to step up my game and be better at my job. Even if it wasn't the greatest job, I decided to take it more seriously and be better at it and change my attitude.
Yeah.
And
but
then things start.
It's almost like you went from they're not giving me, they're not giving me, they're not giving me to how can I give, how can I give?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. This is exactly what happened. I'm a big believer that good things happen to good people.
Yeah.
And that everything you do, everything you project in the universe, you get back. So if you wish someone something terrible, it's going to come back to you as well. It's going to bite you, right? Yeah. So I started being a better version of myself at work. And within 3 weeks, I got a promotion. I moved. It was a promotion that I wanted. It wasn't this one here, but it was another promotion that I wanted, and I got it. So I was very happy about that. And then I kind of took that opportunity to kind of have a fresh start about a lot of things in my life.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, you know what? I got a promotion. Yeah. I'm moving to a different city, closer to my family, closer to my best friends. Yeah. This is a good time to make other changes in my life. And something else I wanted to change was my appearance, because I was very unhappy with my weight. I felt like I had kind of, I wasn't in the best health. And I felt like it was a good time to change that too.
Wow. And so you started that after you got the job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I was in a city called Medicine Hat, and then I got promoted to a different position in Lethbridge, where a lot of my friends live. A lot of my family lives there too.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a good time to work on my fitness as well. And then I did, and I melted. I lost like 45 pounds. I lost 45 pounds in like 3 months, 4 months.
Wow, I
It
melted.
was
I love
crazy.
that.
Yeah, I melted. That's what I call it. It's almost like life put me in a microwave and I just rotated for like 15 minutes.
Oh, I just love that. I've never heard
Well,
that about weight loss. I melted.
yeah, well, it's crazy. I show pictures to like people I just like meet now. I
Yeah,
show them pictures of myself a year ago and they're like, "That's not you." And
yeah.
I'm like, "No, that's my Aunt Beulah." So, yeah, make a lot
Wow.
of jokes about that. But I was also my attitude. I felt like I was still in that mindset like that guy didn't choose me. I'm not attractive.
Yeah,
I don't deserve to be attractive. I don't deserve to be loved. I'm a piece of you know,
yeah,
like I had all these thoughts in my head and then I decided I was like, you know what? I can thrive. I can be attractive. I, and I think that changing my mindset about my work situation really helped me in other areas of my life too. It's almost like I had a hard time transitioning from college life to adult life.
yeah,
And it was almost like I had a bit of a sense of entitlement.
yeah,
And, I think because I didn't really work for things in college, because I don't want to brag, but I've always been naturally gifted for school.
yeah.
That when I came to the workplace, I felt like I had this entitlement and I didn't work hard enough for what I wanted. And I just expected things to happen without really like working for them. And then changed my mindset, did a lot of visualization, and I just started projecting a lot of positive things. And then I'll tell you what, things happen even faster than I thought they would. So this position I wanted here in New Jersey,
Yeah.
something I had wanted for over, I would say like over a year,
Yeah.
something I really wanted. And I knew it would be something that would happen down the line, but I was expecting it to happen in 2 years, perhaps. And I
Yeah.
was really happy with the promotion they had given me prior.
Yeah.
I thought it would happen eventually, but then it happened a lot faster than I thought, even to a point where I was like, whoa, am I doing this right now? Because my manager reached out to me and said, when could you go? And I said, I don't know, like 6 months. And she was like, how about Friday? And I was like, okay. All right.
Wow. So you're stretching it out and they're pulling it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, this is like, it's like when because you weren't in a good space in a lot of areas, in pretty
Yeah.
much every area. You made the decision to change one thing, your mindset about work.
Yeah.
Went from I need to get to I'm going to learn to give.
Yeah.
That one thing created a domino effect.
It did. Yeah.
Once you got one area rolling, then you felt better, and then it made you go, okay, now I'm going to lose the weight because I feel good in my job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, you didn't mention it, but you did get a pay rise too in all of this as well.
Yeah. Significantly.
I remember you said that this has been a huge money.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. Yes.
It's so great. Look, you change your mind, everything changes. It's really that simple. It is that simple. It's so great to see how one area then just knocked on to the other area.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy how being in that state of I don't have, I'm unhappy, just keeps projecting terrible things.
It does.
When you start being appreciative for what you do have, then, and even in, I'd have to say in some of my relationships, especially with family members, I feel like when you get older, the myth of the perfect parent kind of dies because you realize that your parents did their best, right? And I have amazing parents, right? But, you know, like growing up, there's always things that you're not happy about your family, whether it's your aunts or your uncles or your parents or your cousins, or I have a really big family, so I have a lot of relatives. And I also changed my mindset with that too. I started appreciating my family members for what they are and not for what they're not. And because I used to compare my mom to my aunts a lot. Yeah. And, you know, there were things that I liked more about my aunts than my mom and vice versa. Yeah. And then, you know, I feel like I started being more appreciative of my mom's personality because we're very similar. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, the best gift that you could ever give me was, or more so, the best gift you ever gave me was your personality. And I think it really helped. I've always had a good relationship with my mom, but I feel like this helped our relationship even more. And I feel like I see her for the great things that she provides to my life. You know, I've always had phenomenal parents, but you know what it's like when you're a teenager, you start kind of like questioning your parents' decisions, etc. Especially like as a young adult, I feel like in college, I was very entitled and I had this attitude of like, I know better than everybody else. I still have that sometimes. Like my self-love's pretty good. Sometimes it can be confused with arrogance, but with my parents, I started appreciating them more for what they are and what they provide in my life. And I think our relationship has been even better since. Not that it was bad to begin with, but it's even better now.
I think that is that transition from being a child to a teen.
Yeah.
Well, you realize all of a sudden, oh my God, my parents are people. They're not just my parents. They're human.
Yeah. They have their own struggles.
Yeah.
They got their own wounds. And something else I forgot to tell you is that watching your videos and kind of doing a lot of manifesting and focusing on energy, I also realized that I'm responsible for my own happiness. Yeah. Because that one guy I liked 3 years ago that got married and I was really upset about the whole thing, I felt like I was kind of holding him responsible for my happiness. So it was like, I have you, therefore I'm happy. I don't have you, I'm not happy. Yeah. And then I realized that even if he's a phenomenal man and he, you know, makes me really happy and I'm still very, very happy we're best friends. Yeah.
That's amazing. Going from being someone who was jealous in a relationship to losing him through fear, and then the whole thing that you didn't want happened, to now being friends and you're no longer obviously the jealousy and all that stuff.
No, not at all. We have such a great relationship. And also, you know, I was just telling him this week, actually, I said, do you feel like I'm less needy? And he's like, yeah. He's like, totally. And I said, do you know why? And he's like, I don't know, tell me, he's a dude, right? So I realized that I was responsible for my own happiness. And even if you're great, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life, you know, I'm responsible for my own happiness. And when you have that mindset in your head, you're a lot more independent, and also you're a lot more self-sufficient, and your expectations about people change because they're not responsible for your happiness. They contribute to your happiness, but they're not responsible for it. At the end of the day, you make your own happiness.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that.
I agree. And when you finally get that, not only in your head, but in your actions towards people, you let everyone around you off the hook that you have to love me, and your relationships with them improve because you're no longer holding them hostage.
Exactly.
Yeah, I reckon that is one of the biggest lessons in life, is that.
And, you know, I felt bad because in hindsight, that guy, I know that I caused him a lot of anxiety because he was just trying to live his life, but he knew that I was really hurt by what was going on, and he was trying to, and I mean, kudos to him because he put up with a lot of things I did. that
Yeah.
I'm really sorry for. But we're in such a good place now and I've also manifested that too. I manifested, I want a good relationship with him. I want a good relationship with his wife and his kid. And because at the end of the day, like, I could not have a relationship with him now that he's married. We could just be like, oh, we used to be friends. But instead, I figured, okay, I either start respecting him and I either start lowering my expectations and have a relationship with him, or I can stay miserable and not have any relationship with him whatsoever.
Yeah, and when you're in that entitled state, that standing there with your hands on your hips about what someone's not giving you, you miss out on all that you just said.
You do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's interesting because you would have been him pushed out, so he must have changed what he was projecting onto you.
Probably. Yeah.
Wow, that is brilliant.
I think he did, actually, because he did tell me that whenever we fought or whenever I did crazy things because I was jealous, he always tried to focus on the fact that, I'm a good friend. I bring him a lot of happiness.
Yeah.
I did a lot of great things for him in the past and his family, etc. So I think he also projected a lot of positive things, which helped our relationship.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like best case scenario for everyone.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, in my work situation too, I got that first promotion and I really pushed myself. Like, I want to be the best version of myself at work. I want to perform on, the best level I'm capable of. I want to make things happen for myself. And I did. And I'm still going to.
I liked what you said before when you were talking about that first manifestation of the job.
Yeah.
That you were thinking like a victim. You were like in a victim state.
I was.
But it's not the easiest thing to identify about yourself.
It's not.
When you're in that, it's all about what they're doing wrong to you.
It takes humility.
It does.
I agree. It's hard at first. Like, you might cry a little.
Yeah.
Because you might realize that the way you've been behaving is not the best. And but that was my thing. I realized I had been behaving like such a victim. And I think that because I was acting like a victim at work and with that guy that I loved, I kind of took on a victim persona in all areas of my life. So it was like, I'm a victim with my family.
Yeah.
I'm a victim at work. I'm a victim of like, I put on so much weight. I'm a victim. Right? So I felt like I had a victim mentality in all areas of my life.
Yeah, and then you add on, I don't have enough money, and everything's expensive, and
Yeah.
Too. So yeah, it's like the foundation that permeates all those areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is I think that's like one of those monumental. It's almost like what they call, it's that rebirth.
Yeah, in some ways. And I've been a lot more sensitive now to my energy, what I give off, but also what I tell people, because I realize that their vibrations affect me too.
Yep.
Right? So if I talk too much about my personal life to people, like, they could wish bad things to me. And then it's also interfering with what I want. So I started being a lot more careful with what information I share and with whom. Because I'm just a lot more sensitive now to what people give off. And I'm really focused on my goals. I just take it seriously now. And but I love the epiphany I had, just starting to be more sensitive to people's energy and just picking up on some stuff. And also, when people confide in me it's fine. I can listen. I can, like help them with their problems, but I've been trying to shift their energy too, so that it helps them. Right. So if for example, like if someone comes to you and, oh, I'm a victim, things keep happening, blah, blah, blah. I always try to help them, shift their perspective.
Exactly.
So I have a friend who's going through a very difficult divorce right now. And, every now and then she gets a little bit negative, which I mean, like I probably would too. But I've been trying to tell her like, hey, this is like the first step towards your new life. You're going to be happier. You're going to meet new people. You're going to be like, you're going to blossom. You're going to blossom. That's what I've been telling her. So just the things that I realized for myself, I've been trying to teach people, but I don't want to do it in an arrogant way where I'm like, I know better than you. It's more so I've been trying to do it in subtle ways so that it helps them raise the questions that I had, but I want them to kind of have their own epiphany when it comes to people's energy and whatnot. We'd be such a better world if we all did that.
Oh my God.
If we all projected positive things about everyone. And I wanted to add too that I noticed that you can also project things for other people.
Yeah.
Because my best friend, and everybody knows that she's my best friend. She's been my best friend since I was 4 years old, and I love her more than anything. She's like my little sister.
Yeah.
She has been in a long distance relationship for a while, kind of like someone I know. and I've been projecting a reunion for them.
Yeah.
And it's happening next week.
Woo! Nice.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't even know that you've helped out with that.
Yeah, right. Well, so I feel like people could say like, oh, it's a coincidence, but like I know that I'm making things happen in my life and other people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a focus-based universe, and what you project out, you assist. That's why prayer is so powerful. That's why meditation, you're actually using your mind to go into solutions and give thanks in advance for things. That's why prayer's worked for how many centuries? It works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think using it for other people, especially if you know it's something that they want, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that you visualize stuff for people when you don't know if that's what they want, but if you know it,
imagine, right?
Yeah, that's a bit I mean,
I'm going to manifest this person moves to Africa.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, but it's been great.
That's so cool.
I would lie if I said my life's perfect. We all have our struggles, right? But it's definitely helped me be more positive. Not that I wasn't a positive person to begin with, but it's really helped me put things in perspective and gives you a bit of hope. When things are sluggish and they're not moving as fast as you want them to, it helps you put things in perspective.
For sure. I like what you said about like talking too much to people, because being an extrovert, that's something that's so easily done. And that's definitely been one of my lessons too. Keep my mouth shut before things hatch.
Yeah.
Keep it to myself, because sometimes I'd get so in the past, like 10 years ago, I'd be so wanting to share something, and then you're talking to the people that don't do this work, and then they poke holes in it.
Yeah.
Because they love you, or they want to protect you, or they don't, whatever the reason is. And you end up then deflated. That's something I stopped doing a long time ago now. I talk about things after they've happened. This is what's happened, and it's really, but I don't tell them the years that went into that particular manifestation. I do with people that do this work, but not with someone who doesn't.
Well, yeah, because it takes one person that says, oh, that's not going to happen, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then that just kind of like deflates your balloon, right?
It does. And when we all get shaky legs prior to something manifesting, because it hasn't got solid, it hasn't got the protection on the outside of it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're still a bit of a raw pink nerve with stuff. Keep your mouth shut. That's the best advice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I was telling my friend last week too, I said, I feel like, like there's something I really want right now that I can't talk about here, but it's something I really want. And I told her, I said, I feel like I'm scared I told too many people because I don't know what their vibrations are about it. And if they don't think it's going to happen, then it's a lot of people projecting a lot of negative energy towards my goal.
Yeah.
And I just want to like clean it up, right? It's like, but I feel like if I don't talk about it, then people forget easily, right?
They're preoccupied with their own stuff.
I always tell my friends, like whenever they do something embarrassing and they're like, oh, everyone's going to be talking about this, I always tell them, give them a week, people forget.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
They
So
do.
like, why do our like politicians get away with so many things? Because people forget.
Exactly right.
People forget, right?
A prime example.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been more sensitive to what I do share.
Yeah.
And I've been, just more sensitive to people's reaction. And I told, so I'm really close to my cousin, and I told her a little bit about, my journey with energy and manifestations and whatnot. And I told her, I said, listen, I said, I know you might not believe in that stuff, right? But I said, and I was referring to my goal, like the one goal I really want. I said it would mean everything to me if you believed with me.
Yes.
And she said, you know what? Whatever makes you happy, and I love you, and I want what you want.
Nice. Now
so,
someone who hears you. And not only that, puts aside if they had anything negative or doubt, or is that going to happen, or is it possible? They put that aside and jumped in to support you. That's brilliant.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made me feel better.
There's power in numbers. There is.
There really is. Yeah.
There is. I mean, that's why Neville Goddard did a lot of imagining for other people, and he'd do a lot of phone call. They would hang up and he would stay there with the phone in his hand, close his eyes, and see it exactly how he knew they wanted to see the end result. And then when he felt satisfied and it felt natural, he would hang up the phone.
Yeah.
So, there really is so much power in assisting other people that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to tell them if you don't want to. They don't have to know the ins and outs of what you do with living in the end and imaginal scenes and all of that. You can just do it that's a way you can serve. That's a way you can give. Yeah.
Well, and when I said that I was a bit of a psychic when I was growing up. So when I was in high school, our neighbors were really trying to have a baby and it wasn't working at all. Yeah. And I wanted it so bad for them that it happened. And I've always felt like I had something to do with it. And I hope it's not, narcissistic of me of thinking I'm making all these things happen. but that was kind of an awakening. I just felt like I could. So I just had this attitude where people would come to me about something they're worried about, and I would tell them like, no, because I know it's going to happen this way, or I know it's going to happen that way. Yeah. So that made me realize that it wasn't like seeing the future. It was just me being completely confident in what I was manifesting. Yeah, exactly. It's a form of connecting with what we've already been given. Yeah. And just really honing in on that as a skill. Yeah, absolutely. I've talked about psychics and astrologers and all that stuff, but if they would use the power of that within what they do with people, wouldn't that be astounding? Oh, that'd be great. That would be. Yeah. I know there's a few psychics that have recommended my channel to people that come and work with me, and I thought, what? No, but I thought, wow, if they are actually working on the self-love themselves, then they can inject that and the imagining for other people. You're not just being a psychic to
share the trajectory of doom someone is on, if that's what you see. You actually assist them to correct the trajectory.
Yeah.
And you plant those kind of seeds in their head. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
That would be incredible.
I think it's easy to see, you know, a bad path when you see one.
Yeah.
So when you feel like someone's starting to shift in the wrong direction, you know, why don't you intervene, and why don't you tell them, hey, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? Right? Just kind of, because I love when people give me perspective on things. So I'm projecting that too. I feel like, you know, therefore people will want to get direction.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, like, life is about two things, right? The way I see it, like, people just want to fit in and be loved. At the end of the day, like, this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, why are people working? Why are people buying houses? Why are people getting married? Why are people having kids? Like, everything in life, people just want to fit in and they want to be loved.
Yeah.
Right?
Very, very simple and basic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I have to agree with you. Coaching people all over the world, that's the common thing I see through everything that people, all the problems people bring. That is, I feel like I don't belong and I feel like I'm not loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all it is. Like, whenever people do things that are upsetting you, it's because they either felt like they didn't belong or they didn't feel loved by something that you did, right? I feel like most conflicts happen because of that. Like, I just kind of had that realization about a year ago. People want to be loved and want to fit in. That's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very simple creatures, really.
We really are.
We complicate it with a lot of stuff. But yeah, when it boils down to why people have addictions, why people have challenging relationships, all of this stuff, when you distill it down, it does come back to I'm not loved, and I want to belong or fit in, as you say.
Well, why do little kids act out?
Yeah.
Because they want to feel loved, or they want to feel like they don't know how to vocalize how they're feeling, right? So they'll throw like a tantrum or something like that, just because they're looking for that love, that reassurance that you're okay, you're with me, you fit in, we love you, right? Exactly. So, and I mean, like, I look at the, like, you know, the way I behave with the person I love, and whenever I'm mad at them or something, it's always because they did something that made me feel like they didn't love me, right? So at the end of the day, like, that's all there is.
That's all there is.
People want to be loved and they want to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. Should get a t-shirt made, put one on the front and one on
the back. You want to be loved. They want to fit in.
And I want to fit in.
Yeah. Well, because that's also helped me because, like, you know, not like, I was always pretty popular, and, like, you know, like, I didn't really deal with those issues like in high school or in college or whatever. But I did participate a lot in gossip and, like, oh, this person, blah, blah, blah. They don't dress well. They're ugly. They're fat, whatever, right? And, you know, now that I'm older, I wish I could go back in time, and I wish I could be more loving and more accepting of other people, because at the end of the day, like, those people that we were kind of, you know, ostracizing in some ways, you know, they just wanted to be loved and they wanted to fit in. Right? It's just that some people don't have it as easy to click with people, right? Like, it's harder for them to read social cues or whatever, right? And, like, we should be teaching them rather than, you know, rejecting them.
Yeah, love and acceptance. And that then goes forth into the workplace, like you did with
your
new boss.
Yeah, definitely, right? Because
it echoes from school, it echoes into other areas.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer that school is a preparation for the workplace, because you'll be working with diverse people, and, you know, like your teachers become supervisors and bosses and whatnot, and homework becomes assignment and projects, and like I think it's a good preparation for
Yeah.
the workplace. But yeah, anyways, my point is, like, I wouldn't say I was a bully, but I've definitely done my fair share of gossiping and thinking I'm better than other people. And now, like, I'm really trying to just see that in people, that they're just like hurting and they're trying to fit in and they want to be loved.
Yeah.
But sometimes you also have to protect yourself from people's negative energy, right? So, because it can be really exhausting to try to heal everybody. So I feel like I think you can kind of reach a balance of, like, you can pick a few people you want to help and love and nurture. And then some people, it's not a bad thing to create some distance, and let someone else help them and heal them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Wow, that's so, look, it's just inspiring. It is so inspiring. It's it's just mushroomed out for you, hasn't it?
Yep. I just feel like you become a lot more emotionally intelligent when you start picking up on those things. It gives you an advantage. It helps you connect with people. It helps you love people better.
Yes.
And I find that when you learn how to love other people better, you also learn how to love yourself better.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, well, this person's trying to fit in and be loved. I'm also trying to fit in and be loved. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah. And, the reverse side of that is, I'm not perfect. And when you accept that you're not perfect when you're older, because that was my thing. I thought I was amazing. Yeah. Like, I sound full of myself, but like, I always thought I was better than a lot of people. And I think because I was in that mentality, I fell from on high when I transitioned from college to the workplace, right? Because I had that entitlement of, like, I'm amazing, I don't make mistakes, etc., right? Yeah. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you realize that you're not perfect, I think it makes you more understanding with other people, that they're not perfect either. So you can't expect perfection when you're not perfect yourself, right? And it doesn't mean you don't love yourself. I'm not saying that I don't love myself because I realize I'm not perfect. I think I just became a little bit more tolerating towards my own insecurities and my own, like, weaknesses. And, it's like you accept that you're not perfect and you embrace it. Yeah. Like, I know I'm always going to be vain. I'm always going to be, like, a bit narcissistic, right? And something I'm working on, but it makes me who I am. It's part of the package, right? So I've accepted who I am as a person. I'm working on things, obviously. Everyone's a work in progress. But I feel like when you accept that you're not perfect, it doesn't mean that you're engaging in self-pity and negative energy. Yeah. I think it's empowering, because if you know your enemy's weaknesses, you know how to defeat them, right? Yeah. So if you know your own weaknesses, like, you can really thrive as a person.
For sure. Yeah. And just the fact that you're introspective and you look and you go, why did I say that in that conversation? You just sounded like an idiot,
Yeah.
Like you were standing on your soapbox or whatever that your weaknesses are, and you just go, I did that again. And like you say, you just go, okay, still need to work on that. It's not to beat yourself with a stick. It's just, okay, next time I'll try and do a bit better and tone myself down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Trial and error.
Yeah. Trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an incredible journey.
It is. And I know you and I will have a part 2 interview, and I'm not going to mention on what, because it's top secret, but a fabulous interview when we do the next one, because that's the thing, the little golden nugget that
Yeah.
hatching,
Yeah.
and
It's a coming.
it's a coming. They're gonna have to wait to know what it is now.
I know, right?
All right, Mark. Thank you so much for coming. There's so many good bits in there.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I really hope that whoever watches this, I hope it helps you.
Yeah.
You know, I think when you change your mentality, a lot of things can happen. The mind is very powerful.
Yeah. The mind is where everything begins and where everything can be changed. Once you've got that, then everything else, from physical body to jobs to relationships to money to, it all goes from that.
Yeah, because some people will say it's BS. You can't change your appearance by meditating, and it's like, listen, if you manifest the right things, you're going to change your attitude, which will result in like changing your diet, changing your exercise, etc. Right? It's not like it's going to happen overnight, but if you meditate and manifest positive things, it stays here.
Yeah.
Right? And then if something is here, it'll show.
Yeah.
Everywhere, right?
From your face to looking younger, looking happier.
Yeah.
Your body changing, yeah, because you're loving it rather than saying, "Oh,
like no one believes I'm 29 years old."
Cool.
I look like I'm 22. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Happiness takes off at least 5 to 10 years, I think.
I'll be happy when I'm 60 and I look like I'm 52.
Yay! Yeah.
It'll be good.
Brilliant. All right, Mark, stay on. Or do you want to say goodbye to everyone first and then stay on?
Yeah.
We'll say
Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. I'm sure Mark will pop down below to answer comments in the threads. Lots of love. See you in the next YouTube. Bye-bye.